What is up, everybody? It's Dynamic, and welcome back to another MLW video. Now, before I start, I just want to say I'm on the path to 200 subs, hopefully before the MLW season starts. So if you want to, please subscribe. It would be huge for my channel, and I promise I'll be cranking out some more MLW videos, especially once the season gets started. But today we're going to be talking about why does the MLW keep refusing to go into league expansion? Now, I have a couple theories on this and a couple resources as well to prove my theories. So if you're a fan that's kind of wondering, hey, why isn't the league expanding? Do I think the league will expand soon? What needs to happen for that to happen, obviously? Then stick around, watch this video, and I think you'll enjoy some of my thoughts. Since fans had been asking for league expansion for a while, Kyle finally broke his silence in the 2024 MLW draft video, where he told fans that if MLW would reach an 1 million subscriber count, that they would decide to expand the league to 2 more teams. Now, if you know much about YouTube or you're on Social Blade and kind of looked at the numbers, you see that MLW wasn't projected to hit 1 million subscribers until February 2027. And MLW right now has just over 500,000 subscribers, which is impressive to say the least, especially since the league racks in about 250K every single year. But still, that is not really anywhere close to 1 mil, because the season really started at around 440,000 subs. So the league would have needed a major virality boost, either through TikTok or through a video that just went super viral on the YouTube platform. To me, though, all this really was Kyle pretty much saying that the league is not big enough or in a capacity to expand yet. For example, some of the managers have a tough time getting players to games. However, I don't really think that this is a problem for MLW, because I know there's a lot of people in that Midwest area that would love to be in the MLW. I think it's about finding enough players that are committed enough and also good at wiffle ball. You don't want to just have your league full of a bunch of players that aren't good. Secondly, I think really what this was just Kyle trying to tell MLW fans that expansion isn't going to happen anytime soon. Expanding the league for 2 more teams pretty much means adding 10 more players. That's 10 more jerseys, 10 more shorts, 10 more hats, as well as another video every single slate, meaning that the season will extend to about 5 weeks. That is a lot of work for just a short staff and a small amount of time. That needs to be a multi-year project, and Kyle is pretty much just saying, we don't really have the resources to do that right now unless we get a bigger audience. Now, secondly, I want to talk a bit about logistics of league expansion, because I think the reason why MLW keeps refusing to put in expansion is much deeper than just we don't have enough fans, because they certainly have enough fans where they would watch all the videos that they post, but it's more about other things that are internal in the league, such as scheduling would be much harder. For example, instead of 15 games played for each team might now have to play 18 games for the scheduling to work. This means that you need to upload more videos, the season will be longer, you have to get more people to the meadows, and what a lot of fans don't realize is that it's Kyle editing all the videos. I think Tommy does some work on some parts of the videos as well, but for the most part, Kyle is the one editing. Now, I run a YouTube channel, and my editing is very minimalistic, and I have to say posting 1 video a week, even though they're probably about 5 minutes long, is still a decent amount of work. So I know all the editing that Kyle has to do is a full day to multiple day work, which is something that is simply just not possible to do if you're trying to upload multiple videos in a week. I think that's kind of unrealistic for Kyle. He already has a ton on his plate with merch, the website, and the videos, so adding in an entire another video, especially with another month to the season, would be kind of a crazy step up. I think it's going to be at least 2 years before we see the league start to expand, but I do have some ideas on what they could start to do. Now, I have some ideas, of course, and I will get into them right now. The first idea is to just expand the league to 1 team. I know a lot of people are going to think this is crazy because the scheduling would get even more confusing, but what this would do would allow MLW to have teams getting a bye week. 1 team, a slate, would have a sort of bye slate or a bye week, which would be very interesting to say the least. And the playoffs wouldn't really change too much because, well, the league just got rid of conferences. So, in my opinion, by expanding to 1 team, really you'd only be adding, I think, like 1 or 2 weeks to the season. Maybe my math is off on that, it probably is. but you would also be adding just one team at a time. That means you only really need 4 or 5 players for that team, and you don't need an extra upload per week. You just need an extra week. So I think that would work as an idea. I also think expansion could work if you decide to lower the amount of players per team, but I just don't think that's super smart. I kind of like the amount of players that are on teams today. I like that there are players on teams that don't really get their opportunity until they prove themselves. To me, that makes sense. Not every player in the league should be playing. The last thing I want to talk about is the MLW fan base with expansion. I've always kind of been scratching my head about why MLW's fan base was so obsessed with expansion, but I can kind of understand it. When there's only 8 teams, you definitely want to see more rivalries, other teams doing other things, and a lot of times it does get repetitive, so I understand that, but I just think we have a great balance in the MLW today. So let me know what you guys think about this. Make sure to subscribe, leave a comment. Do you think MLW will be expanding soon? Why do you think MLW keeps refusing to expand? And yeah, peace.